After a 3.5-hour delay, the Colonels came to play. Number 18 Nicholls, they get a 27-7 win over number 11 Sam Houston State. Home opener, pretty unforgettable considering the weather delay, how the game started, but how you finished, all that mattered.
Yeah, you know, our hats off to our players. I mean, they stayed with it. We went several times to try to warm up and come back and had to go back in for lightning delay. And people keep asking, what do we do? Inside, it was really uneventful. Some of the things we did, the guys were just hanging out in the locker room, watching TV. We wasn't going in there every 5 minutes and telling them, giving them updates. We just talked to them and said, hey, look, we only can control the things that we can control. And I thought our guys handled it really well.
And then it's instantaneous. They get on the field, they force a 3-and-out against Sam Houston State's offense. We know that Sam Houston State has lost a lot of their pieces, but this is a team that has led the FCS in scoring the last 3 years. Lowest scoring output for Sam Houston State since 2009.
Outstanding football team. I mean, they really got some weapons on offense. They got so many skilled guys, and I thought our defense rose up to the challenge. I thought we got after them up front and put some pressure on the quarterback. And, you know, to hold them to 7 points, I mean, I got to give Coach Rebowe and the whole staff a lot of credit.
53 yards rushing for Sam Houston State, 5 sacks for the Colonels, and you knew Darren Evans and Amani Martin were ready for those interceptions. You get 2 in the third quarter.
It was a while coming. We've been talking about that, and hopefully when you get one, they start to come in bunches. We had a couple other balls tipped up, and we could have got our hands on it, but Darren Evans' play was really an incredible interception, how he laid out. And, you know, unfortunately, we didn't get any points out of it, but it was good to get some turnovers.
Yeah, we'll reset that real quick with Darren, because that's the first interception of the year, but it comes at such a critical point in the game. It's the first play of the third quarter, and Amani Martin, they're on this 86-yard drive. They're at the doorstep, and he gets the pick at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, he made a great play. He cut in front of him and took the ball. And we talk about it. Our defense talks about that. All you got to do is just keep them out, go one blade of grass. That's all they need. And, of course, they rose to the occasion right there. Great play by him.
All 3 facets. Special teams. Winston Jones drops a couple beauties at the 8 and 7-yard line, punting the football. You shut down one of the best kick returners in the conference. And then when you look at the way Chase Forcade manages this offense, he had 3 players in Irvin, Taylor, and Forcade that had 200 yards rushing.
Yeah, well, you know, if you go back to the special teams part, I thought Joe Dellery gave us a spark in the return game. Those guys had a little pride about themselves this week. We knew we can get some double teams and try to move some guys out, and he did that. The coverage game, you know, LaRon was hitting, so the coverage game was in. Those guys were determined not to give him a big run, and then Winston did a good job of pinning him back a couple times. So it was a solid effort in the kicking game.
Finally, Coach, 2-2. Same position you were in last year in what became a playoff season, but wins against Kansas and Sam Houston State, and now you've got 4 of your final 7 at home. You've got another home game, Family Day, 2:30 p.m. against Lamar. You're right where you need to be.
Well, you know, what we're going to do is celebrate this one tonight. We told the guys about that. We'll get back to work tomorrow. We want to be 1-0 again next week. You know, so we got to forget this one in a hurry. We got a good Lamar team going to come in here. It'll be good to be home again this week, but how we practice this week will determine how we're going to play on Saturday.
Nicholls football and Tim Rebowe, they still haven't lost on this home field in regular season play. They're 6-0 at Manning Field since this turf was installed, and they get a 27-7 win against Sam Houston State. Coach, we'll see you next Saturday against Lamar.
All right, thanks, Brian.
Tim Rebowe and the Colonels, 1-0 at home, 1-1 in the Southland Conference after a 20-point win against the 11th-ranked Bearcats. It's our September send-off with the Colonels, and welcome to the Coach Rebowe TV show. My name is Bryant Johnson. Coach Rebowe, 2-2 on the year, 2 wins against Kansas and Sam Houston State, and what a Saturday it was in Thibodaux against the Bearcats.
Well, always a fun day when you come out on the top, but I can't thank the fans enough who was there, who stuck it out for over 3 hours, our administration, and all the people who helped put on that event. Really stayed in it a long time, and it's a good thing we came out with a win.
We'll break down the game and go inside the Colonels' win against number 11 Sam Houston State as we welcome you to Week 5 on the Coach Rebowe Show right here on HTV.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it. La 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 la. This is how we do it.
Whoa, I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves.
huddle for the Colonels. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Corner blitz, back to Jean-Pierre. Touchdown, Nicholls! 4K to Jean-Pierre for the 11th time in their career. Nicholls with a 9-7 lead on a 12-yard touchdown pass between JP and Chase 4K.
I make the city move. I do. I make the city move. I do. Look, give me the ball and I won't have to pass it. I ain't passing out till I'm asthmatic. I take a play and then I back to back and hit after hit, check the batting average. I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta move.
Dare drops back, runs into Ollie, and this time Ronald Ollie refuses to let go. Good to have you back, big fella. First sack of the season for Ronald Ollie. Here comes a nickel blitz by Martin. Dare senses it, throws over the middle. The most athletic interception you will see by a Colonel. Darren Evans lay out and come up with a football. Left pass snap, it's Dare throwing in zone left. Amani Martin, takeaway time. Kicked off by number 44. And the Colonel offense on the field at the 1-yard line.
I make the city move. I make the city move. I got the moves. I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta. I take a play and then I back to back and hit after hit, check the batting average. I take the work, flip it acrobatic. Got a little time and a lot of talent. Do a little talking and a lot of action. Seen the competition, not a challenge. I lean, I move, I walk doing this.
4 games, 4 sacks, number 48, 1 in each of the first 4 games of his junior season.
Okay, I'm on Rodeo for the day. If you owe me, then you better pay your layaway. Stay away, or your ass might get KOK today. Man, hit your ass, I'm like way away. I got the moves, I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move, you gotta move.
Celebrate the bounce back against the Bearcats. Nicholls wins it, and they do it in style. A 27-7 win against number 11 Sam Houston State. Colonels on the come up with their 2nd win this season and their first at home. What a way to start the season in Thibodaux. A 20-point win in your home opener. It was an unforgettable Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and Saturday evening with the Colonels. A 3-hour weather delay, but more than worth the wait as you get a 20-point win against the number 11 team in the country.
Yeah, look, that team the last couple of years had our number, even long before we got here. So it was good to finally get a breakthrough and get a win. We hadn't beat them since we've been here. And I think last year, they embarrassed us at their place. We had just gotten ranked into the top 25, and they got after us pretty good. So I think our guys had a little sense of pride about themselves. They didn't mention it a lot during the week, but to go out and do it on our home field in front of our home crowd was really nice.
You score 20 unanswered points, and it's interesting that Sam Houston State was outscoring the first 2 teams they played 20-0 in the third quarter. Second half was the difference in this game. 17-0 shutout in the third and fourth quarter for your Colonels.
Yeah, one of the goals that we have is we always want to win the fourth quarter, no matter what. We said if it's 1-0, we want to win the fourth quarter if we can do that. And it's always good when you go in. We had a 10-7 lead. Going into was it 10-7? Yeah, at that time. So for us to be able to score those points and win the fourth quarter, I think we scored 14 points. It was really good for our guys just to get us another goal.
When you look at the tape of those 2 interceptions by Darren Evans and Amani Martin, they look better and better, especially on the first play of the third quarter for Darren Evans. That is such a suffocating turn of events, really an emotional conclusion to any optimism and momentum that Sam Houston State had.
Yeah, they had deferred. They won a toss and defer, so they get in the ball to start the second half. And you always like to tell the defense, hey, you got to go out and get a stop and get the ball back to the offense. And you didn't want to give them any momentum going there. So Darren made a great play. But the thing is, too, when you talk about that, he did it that all week in practice. He picked off some passes in practice, and we really keep preaching that if you do it during the week in practice, you're going to do it in the game. And then Amani is just such a student of the game. He listens, and he's so coachable. And the things that we're talking about, he'd been watching the plays and watching what they were doing. He ran the route for the receiver on that one.
Sam Houston State was held to 53 yards on the ground. Nicholls quadrupled Sam Houston State. They had over 200 yards rushing, and we will take a look inside the ground game for the Colonels. It was 4 different players combining for over 200 yards in a big Colonel victory in their regular season home opener against Sam Houston State. We roll on with the Coach Rebowe Show on HTV.
Dontrell Taylor. We got the running backs in here chilling at the pool.
We all going in one direction.
We all going in one direction.
We all got one mission together, one goal. We all focusing on one thing. Accountability, dependability. Hold each other accountable, depend on each other, we gonna win games.
Our culture, like we set a foundation coming in. Everybody just got that good work ethic.
Everybody has different talents and abilities that I think are gonna come into play. Definitely at one point in the season, I think we're all different backs in our own way, and we can definitely bring something to the game that others can't.
It was a preview of things to come when we met with the Colonel running backs back in August. Welcome back to the Coach Rebowe Show. And Coach Kendall Bussey, Dontrell Taylor, Kyron Irvin, 14, 13, and 13 carries in your win against Sam Houston State. Balance is the name of the game right now.
Yeah, anytime you're in that position, that athletic position, the skill position, I know you want the ball in your hand, and everybody always wants more and more and more, but you don't go into the game and draw it up that way. We didn't say each one was going to get that number of carries. It's just the way it worked out. And they all support each other. They all help each other. If you listen to what Kendall, what he said, he is right on it, that we all have different talents. We can all do different things. And sometimes you go with a guy who has the hot hand. Somebody might get banged up a little bit. There's a lot of different things. And then you got to throw in that fourth running back, that guy named Forcade. We got to mention, Brian, that he was named Southland Conference Player of the Week. Which is really special for him. He threw for almost 200 yards. He had a good game rushing, but directing the offense was just incredible. And then, and we had a few drops. You mentioned all the things, the running backs and the things we did in the points, and we still had some missed opportunities. And if a couple guys can catch a couple passes and in that situation, I know Chase can be throwing for 250, 300 yards.
The Chase Forcade is approaching 1,000 career rushing yards. It's over 200 yards in his junior season and 9 carries for 60 yards as a quarterback. Pretty remarkable to see week in and week out. So many highlights from these Colonel running backs through the first 4 games of the season. And as we look at what became the key for this Colonel program on Saturday, a lot of wealth to be spread around between 3 really good backs.
Yeah, I think it starts with number 1, Dontrell Taylor. I mean, he's the guy, he's been there for 2 years, running, pounding it. He's not big, but he knows how to make some cuts. And his big thing is he gets banged up a little bit. And when he can stay healthy, he's really, really good. That last touchdown he ran in where he bounced it out, didn't have a lot of block, and he kind of made it on himself. And, it's good to see Kyron Irvin, this play right here where you see him running. But Kyron Irvin's running hard. He ran hard during that game. And when Kendall's healthy, he's as good as they come.
Now, it really feels like we're looking at some thoroughbred horses that are all ready to be let out of the stables at the same time, where they understand this is what's best for the team. This is what's best for them, that you're seeing 13, 14 carries spread between 3 guys.
Well, it is good because, when you can get that running game going behind our offensive line, who's doing a pretty good job of opening up some holes, and you can have a guy fresh in the fourth quarter where you still got to be able to run that football. I mean, you can't say enough about that. Sometimes when you have one guy, if he's carrying it 25 times, he's not as sharp in that second half and the fourth quarter. But this way, we got all our guys fresh, ready to go.
This is also big for your quarterback, who hit it 70% on Saturday. He can complete 3 of every 4 passes when a defense is keyed in on stopping so many different running backs.
Yeah, look, our receivers were doing a good job getting open, and he was putting some right in the heart of where it needed to be. The thing he did, too, he ran the offense really, really well and efficient. And, his run game, he picks those opportune times where he's pulling it in his own read and pulling it down and taking off. So he had a good feel for it on Saturday.
We would be remiss if we didn't mention Aaron McKinney and his contributions. First 3 catches of his career, he had 51 yards receiving. This is just a continuation of our conversation that if you are locked into the running backs, this is going to open up more opportunities for other players.
Really skilled out at the wide out. We talked about it before, Dantes Costley. Now you have Aaron McKinney, who's getting healthy. He's coming off that knee injury. Now he has a little bit more confidence in it. He made a fantastic catch on the sideline, dragging his foot and staying in bounds. So I was really, really happy for him.
First win over a ranked opponent in 10 years for the Colonels. A lot of big wins in the last 4 seasons, but to do it against the number 11 program in the country, sign of things to come for Nicholls football. And now they turn their attention to the Lamar Cardinals. We've got Family Day in Thibodaux on Saturday, 2:30 p.m. kickoff between the Cardinals and the Colonels. We'll preview what Lamar has in store for Nicholls as we wrap up the Coach Rebowe Show on HTV. As we look ahead to Lamar and Nicholls, we would be remiss if we didn't remind everybody that it was another week where the Colonels received Southland Conference attention following their 27-7 win against Sam Houston State. Chase Fourcade is the Offensive Player of the Week, and Evan Veron, Co-Defensive Player of the Week. Couple more sacks for Evan. He's got 5 in 4 games.
Yeah, Evan is really coming off that edge and doing a good job. He's hard to block. He's tough. The thing he does is he practices so hard, and that's how he plays the game. He's relentless on that field. So it's good to see him get a recognition. You know, you got him as Player of the Week. You got LaRon was honorable mention on special teams. And I told the guys this, anytime you're winning games like we are, and if you beat a really good opponent like that, the recognition is going to come. It's going to come in the form of the team, and also it's going to come individually for you.
Kansas, Tulane, McNeese, Sam Houston State, and you have 17 sacks through the first 4 games. You're 4th in the country in sacks. It's everyone on defense is stepping up and contributing to this great start.
Yeah, look, we play a lot of guys on our defensive line. Kenny Dotson got unleashed the other day. I thought he had a good game. Tyler Johnson comes in. Brandon Fontenot is a man in the middle. Sully Lesh is, Sully as usual, and he probably didn't have the stats that he had in previous games. But, man, I tell you, he was relentless on that field. They couldn't block him. The things that he caused opened up for the other guys. Ollie getting his first sack. So, look, we're going to play more and more of those guys, and they know they got to be up front. They got to be really, really good up front.
17 sacks from 7 different Colonels, and now a really athletic quarterback and offense will come into Thibodaux. Sure, Lamar is 0-2 in conference and 1-3 on the year, but a 1-point loss in a 49-48 game against Northwestern State, a 30-24 loss last week at home against Southeastern. It all starts with Daryl Colbert, a quarterback who can put up some really gaudy numbers. Very
special athlete. He can beat you throwing the football. He can beat you running. He can beat you with his feet a lot and getting out of the pocket and doing some things. They like to run the option football. They put the ball in his hands a lot. We are going to have to play well up front. You talked about having those sacks and those guys up front. We're going to have to try to control their offensive line. We have to put some pressure on him. We can't allow him to sit back in the pocket and throw it.
When you look at this Final Four and 7 games and those 4 being at home, road-tested, battle-tested to start the season, now at home for back-to-back weeks, how does that affect preparation with a team that hasn't had that kind of routine?
You know how I am about routine and what we like to do, and we get to do it another week in a row. But I told the team the other day, what is normal anymore? We have nothing normal. Last week, coming off the McNeese game, we had the lightning delay. We go out to practice on Tuesday. We have a 2-hour lightning delay. You go into the game, we have a lightning delay, and we learn from it. So today we went out and practice, had to go out in the rain and practice again because, just the weather's going to be here with us this week. But it's good. Our guys, they know what we're doing Friday and in their beds on Friday night and our routine we're going to have on Saturday.
Give us 3 keys for the Colonels in this upcoming game against the Cardinals.
Well, I think our offensive line is going to have to protect Chase. They like to blitz. They like to bring it from all over. We're going to have to sustain some drives and keep it out of their hands. Defensively, like we mentioned, we got to get after the quarterback. We're going to have to tackle well again. I think another big key we've done over the last couple of weeks we're going to have to do again is not have explosive plays. Try to get a couple on offense and not give up any on defense.
Nicholls is now number 15 in the country, and this does mean that you're hunted, that teams are coming in. They might be a little wounded, but you've got the target on your back now.
Yeah, you're right. You talk about wounded. They're going to come in here hungry. They're going to want to come here after us. They're going to try to get their first win. They're not going to say this venue's not too big for them. They went play at Texas Tech. They know what it's about. So you got to bring your A game every week. We talk about it. Every team in this conference is good. I just like our chances. I like how we playing at home. It's good that we're getting them in our place.
Check out the 15th ranked Colonels on 11 Sports Network. You can watch the game on the Southland Digital Network, southland.org, and also listen to us on ESPN Radio New Orleans. We'll see you next week for more of Colonel football with the Coach Rebowe Show on HTV.